Hello everybody. Today we are going to go over the parts of our compass. So let's start off at the top. We got our direction to travel arrow, which is pointing the direction we're heading. We have our base plate. We have our compass housing, which is this round thing. Inside the compass housing, we have our degrees or our bearings all around. And then we also have our index line. Right inside the compass housing, if you can see under, there's one line that always stays still right there. Points the same way as the direction of travel. We also have our orienteering lines, which are these black lines that go inside. We have our orienteering line, which we always want to put our magnetic needle in the shed, which is always pointing to magnetic north, like that, or something like that. And then I believe that's it. Okay, so now that we've reviewed the parts of the compass, let's review the parts of the maps. On this map, we have a huge legend and a pretty large covering map. Here we have a directional arrow showing north, which means that we are looking north, east, south, and west. We also have a scale, and this scale shows that for every mile, or shall I say every inch, that means it's a mile. And along with that, we also have symbols that explain everything we see on the map. So something such as a landmark, which we see down here at Dryden Town Park, or a shelter symbol right here. You can find it up here and figure out what that means. So if we're looking for shelter, we look along here and we'll find it. Apart from landmarks, we have roads such as Dryden Virgil Road or Owego Hill Road. We also can find water sources such as Dryden Lake. We see things such as power lines. Also, we have trail markers right here, and luckily this map shows an enlarged version of those trail markers, and they're colored differently to show the different loops in each trail. Right, and on this map we can also see some contour lines. These are pretty spaced out, meaning that it's not that elevated, but if we're in a really mountainous area with high peaks, there'd probably be a lot more lines, a lot darker, showing that it's a really high peak. Let me add in that we also have these lines right here, which we can use to orient ourselves when we're trying to orient our map, because these lines are direct continuity with this arrow and the sides of it showing that this is going north, directly south, directly east, directly west. So when we start orienting ourselves, we can use those, but we'll get into that later. Okay, so now we're going to take a bearing of 200 degrees inside the house. First thing, we're going to have the compass at our belly button facing out. Now we're going to turn the dial to get our bearing to reach 200 on the index line. After doing that, we're going to turn our body in the compass so that the red is in the shed, the magnetic arrow is in the orienting arrow, and right in front of me is a whiteboard, and that would be 200 degrees in my house. Okay, so now to get a bearing of a random object in your house, what you're going to do is point your compass at your belly button towards the landmark. We're going to turn our dial until the magnetic needle is in the orienting arrow, and then that's just wherever the index line is going to read us our bearing of our landmark. And my stove would be 308. Okay, so now to find a bearing on a map, all you need to have is your two locations, which would be, we're going to go from point A to point B. Make sure you point your compass in the way you're going. I'm going from the C to this decimal point right here. I'm going to draw a line because it's going to help me. And now after that, what we're going to do is make sure our orienteering lines on the inside of here are parallel with the lines of our map, which this one is right now. We're going to read whatever's on the index, which this one says 44. And then add the declination, which is 11 for this area, and that's going to come out to 55. Now, all you need to orient your map is to account for your declination, which would be 11 on this map. Then you're going to align the side of your compass with the north to south line on your map. Turn it until your magnetic needle is in the orienting arrow, and now your map is correctly oriented and you can read it.